All right, welcome everyone to the JV home opener for Eastlake Wolves football. Tonight we have your Eastlake Wolves facing off against the Bellevue Wolverines. Short notice change. We were initially supposed to play against Mount Tahoma, but now we have Bellevue. Eastlake kicked off, and here's the first play from scrimmage. 23 of Bellevue bursting ahead with some incredible speed up to about the 45-yard line of Bellevue. Now, I don't have a roster for Bellevue, but I do have a roster for Eastlake. I'll just be spouting numbers for the Wolverines. I'll have names for the Wolves, though. Right now, that'll be 1st and 10 for Bellevue. 19 under center. Handoff to 23 up the middle. He'll gain about 6 or 7. Tackled by Nolan Budish at the end. That'll make it about 2nd and 3 on the Eastlake 48-yard line. 80 sprinting out. The lone receiver. Split backs. Handoff.
Handoff to Young again. And 56 is there on the tackle.
23.
Brady
Painter with the tackle.
No gain.
That'll make it 3rd and 3. Little substitution for Bellevue. No real action so far, just a couple run plays and a kickoff. Split backs once again. 19, once again a handoff to 23. He will get the first down. Tackled by Miles Johnson at about the Eastlake 42-43 yard line. That'll make it 1st down. The Wolverines started on the 35, on their own 35, due to a kicking out of bounds penalty on the kickoff. And another handoff up the middle. That'll gain about 4.
Ben Waldron on the tackle.
Ben Waldron with the stop there. That'll make it 2nd down and about 6 or 7. As Bellevue, they've been running it every play, so wouldn't be surprised if I see another run. 23 with the carry here. Met in the backfield, breaks free, still on his feet, brought down after a loss of quite a few, looks like about 10. Finally brought down by Ethan Rogers. And basically everyone else on that Eastlake defense. Loss of 10, that'll make it 3rd and about 14. Officially spotted at the 47, so that'll be 3rd and 15. They need the 32 for a 1st down. We might get to see Bellevue's first passing play. Oh, fumble snap, and that will drop down for a loss of about 3 or 4. Making a 4th down and, well, it looks like, I believe, 17, 18 yards. Looks like Bellevue, after having a couple 1st downs early, is going to have to punt. Couple mishaps and no real movement there. Or at least that set of downs. And no, Bellevue looking to go for it on 4th down. 19 out to pass, but he will be met in the backfield. That is Ethan Rogers down at the Bellevue 40-yard line. No one blocking him there.
So that brings up Eastlake's first 7 down. Right there.
And now we get to go ahead and we get to see Ryder Barry Smith in at quarterback. His older brother, Parker Barry Smith, played for varsity just a couple years back when we made our run to the semifinals. So here he is, Miles Johnson in the backfield behind him. Handoff, Johnson, straight up the middle. He'll drop down after a gain of about 7 or 8 there. That'll make it 2nd and 8. Sorry, not 2nd and 8, 2nd and 2. Gain of 8. Twins right with an ace. Johnson up the middle again. Breaks free. Lots of space. Still on his feet. He'll gain another probably 10 yards there. That'll make it 1st down and 10 from the Bellevue 21-22 yard line. A couple solid carries for Miles Johnson there. We've only seen one passing play so far this game, and it ended up being a sack on 4th down. Sort of a double twins formation for Eastlake. Handoff to Johnson, who will bounce outside, find a little bit of space, and hit the edge. Miles Johnson will score. Touchdown, Eastlake. Miles Johnson with the 21-yard carry, straight for the score. Looked like it would have been dead in the water there, but he bounced it right outside. Incredible running and incredible blocking by the Wolves here. Now we'll have Nolan Budish to attempt the PAT. Halfway through this 1st quarter. Oh, a little stoppage here. I think a knee pad realignment. Here in high school, you have to have your knee pads on. You have to have a mouth guard in. You can't have anything above the elbow. Unless it's a long sleeve. The kick is up, and it is out. Nolan Budis will miss that PAT. So the score after 5 minutes of play, the Eastlake Wolves 6, Bellevue Wolverines 0. Budis set to kick off once again. Here's that Miles Johnson run just towards the tail end of it after he sets the edge there, and just some speed from that number 5. Now we'll get to see another kickoff here. Hopefully it doesn't go out of bounds like the last one. And joining me now is Jim Thatcher. After fixing some technical difficulties we had, fixing the replay system and everything like that.
Good evening, everyone.
Budish sets up to kick off. A little bit of a squib kick there. Fielded at about the 22-yard line by 25, I think. Can't really read his number there. He'll go down at about the Eastlake 37. Pretty decent return of about 25 yards.
And tonight I'm joining you from behind the camera as well as on the microphone. So if you don't hear a lot from me, it's because I'm trying to catch a little bit of a view of the game for you. But as I can, I'll try to get a few comments in here and there.
He'll also be running the replay system and all of the player highlights as well.
Just that.
Yeah, just everything except for, well, nothing. Handoff, 23 up the middle, met by a pack of Wolves there. That's mainly 61, Jimmy Reed.
Gain of about 4 yards on the play.
Well, we've only seen one pass play so far all night. Bellevue set up every single play except for that 4th and about 20 at the end of that last drive. And
does that one count as a pass play when it was really just an attempt at a pass?
I don't know. He went down very far back. Handoff to 36, sets the edge, open space. And finally brought down
Cameron Hanhart.
Cameron Hanhart after a gain of about, it looks like, 20-ish yards. That'll make it first down at the Eastlake 40.
Impressive run for the Wolverines there.
However, this is about the same spot where they stalled out last drive.
Well, let's see if our Wolves can do the same to them this time.
Once again, split back for the Wolverines. 19 handoff to 23. He has blockers ahead of him, spins free, but he'll finally be stood up by Riley Hill towards that first down, and I think he got it.
They're spotting it right at the 30-yard line, so they're a little forward of the 30, so that will move the chains.
Looks like they're officially spotting it at the 31. Line to gain was sort of the 30 and a half. That'll make it first down and 10. Wolverines marching down the field here, not really taking their time. Handoff 23 up the middle, so much open space, but he'll be spun down after a gain of about 10 by Riley Hill. Looks like they'll officially call it a 12-yard gain. Really good blocking by the Wolverines thus far.
Yeah, that was just shy of 10 yards there. Well, no, they are. Okay, now it's first down.
A little bit of a chain delay, but nothing we aren't used to. Split back still. Handoff, no, pass, 19, lets it fly, and is caught by 23 for the first down inside the 10.
Looks like the Wolves defense needs to start paying a little more attention to number 23.
Yeah, he has, I think, all of their yards so far this game with only one loss of about a half yard.
That's generally a pretty good indicator that you should pay attention to that player on defense.
Yeah, that's the first completed pass we've had all game. It's been 7 minutes.
Bellevue steps up to the line.
Handoff to 23, and he will score. Touchdown, Bellevue.
3 minutes left here in the half, and Bellevue gets their first touchdown.
Now with Bellevue with a chance to go ahead after Budish missed the extra point on the other end of the field, we have 17 for Bellevue, looking to take the lead. $14 to hold. And a whistle.
14 holding, but looks like activity on the field.
I guess the refs weren't quite ready for that ball to be snapped yet.
17 Miller to kick.
And I guess there was a little bit of a jump because of the whistle.
A little bit of a conference by the referees over on the sideline. Find out what that flag was about.
And that will be offsides on Eastlake, which seems a little interesting. They jumped because the ref blew his whistle. I don't know why they did that, but it's kind of weird. Here's a retry, 14. Oh, that kick is blocked. Could be recovered. And no, I guess it can't be recovered. Well, it's a 6-6 ball game. 2 touchdowns, 1 apiece, and 2 missed PATs. Rather interesting PAT situation. 1 miss, 1 block, and we'll see how Eastlake can respond to Bellevue rather marching right over their entire defense. I don't think they had a single negative play on that drive. Looks like Miles Johnson and maybe Ethan Rogers going back deep. No, it'll be Miles and Jacob Nakakiti, also known as Jacob Rocco.
Miles Johnson and Jacob Nakakiti.
Back deep at the 10. 17 to kick off for the Wolverines. Rather deep, fielded by Nakakiti at about the 10. He'll run down, he'll stiff arm 25. He'll break 3 up to about the 37, 38 yard line. Same field position here for the Wolves, and we'll have Barry Smith and Johnson once again taking the field to maybe score on the second possession of the game. Fairly decent running there by Jacob Nakakiti. Lines up in a sort of double twins situation. Barry Smith keeps it, has a lot of free space. He'll get the first down and a little bit more. He'll go out of bounds at about midfield. That'll make it 1st and 10. Fairly decent blocking there by the Wolves, ready for just about anything. Now, one thing that Ryder does that his older brother did not do is pull the ball. Parker Barry Smith pretty much only gave the ball and never really ran it. Miles Johnson up the middle, still on his feet, dragging everyone behind him, brought down finally by 40, but not after he gained 13 yards down to the 37 of Bellevue. As I was saying, Parker Barry Smith, the 2021 Kingco Offensive Player of the Year, didn't really like to keep the ball on handoffs or on really zone reads or anything like that, but we're seeing Ryder not afraid to. 11, Jacob Kim in motion. He'll gain about 5 or 6.
Brogan Cleveland and Ramsey Neff on the tackle for Bellevue.
He'll be brought down at the 32-yard line, so a gain of 5 there for Eastlake. That'll make it 2nd and 5 with a minute 30 left in this first quarter. Tie ball game. Barry Smith keeps it after a little indecision, but he's still on his feet. He'll get a lot of yards there. Looks like about 15, 20 yards. And that'll make it a 1st down at the Bellevue 17. First and 10, officially spotted at the 18. Eastlake with sort of a double twins formation. Barry Smith keeps it, sheds a tackle, keeps going. He'll be brought down and a flag will fly. That'll be a gain of about 5 pending the penalty. Minute 2 left in the first quarter. Interesting music choice, breaking the law, I guess, with that flag. We'll see what this penalty is.
Flag is against Eastlake, brings it back to...
I guess it's a holding call, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. So that'll make it 1st and 15 for Eastlake from the 25.
Eastlake with their first long
This Eastlake JV team mainly comprised of last year's freshman team plus a couple more, and minus Colby Johnson, who is playing varsity. No longer head coached by Joe Clay, though. This time we have Dane Sampson as the head coach. Barry Smith looking to throw, flushed. He'll keep it. He'll gain about 7 yards there. Most of that penalty yardage back. He was looking for, I believe, Jacob Kim, but he was very well covered, so that'll make it 2nd and 7. Maybe 2nd and 8.
10 seconds left in the quarter. Looks like this is going to run out.
And Eastlake will let the quarter expire. So our score after 1 quarter of football, your Eastlake Wolves 6, Bellevue Wolverines 6.
3 more downs here, starting in the second quarter.
Oh, stuff. All right, for everyone here right now, please be sure to tune in this Saturday at 6 p.m. while your Eastlake varsity team will take on Skyline. We will have a fairly action-packed game. Last year was a rather interesting game. 21-7 Skyline, and this year, Eastlake looking to take over that win streak and maybe start continue their bid toward a second KingCo championship in 3 years.
And this game will be played on Saturday, a little bit unusual, but we had to find referees. So if you have a love for the football game and have any interest at all, the league is always looking for qualified referees.
And the second quarter about to get underway. Eastlake in a sort of double twin set with 22 Ariv Doshi in at the ace position. You've got receivers 8 Nolan Budish, 11 Jacob Kim, and 82 Chase Hanchka. Stoppage for right now. Not sure what the refs are talking about. Oh, they're setting the chains, making sure they have correct placement. Let's see what Coach Sampson has cooked up for this second and about 7 or 8 play. Coming up as soon as the refs get things set.
Bring it up.
Barry Smith rolling out. Looking. Throwing. Tipped. Well defended by 25. Looking out there. Never mind, that is not 8. That is 9. That is Jacob Nagukiti. That's who he was looking for. Fairly well defended. That'll make it 3rd and 8. Eastlake needs the 9 to get a first down. Very doable, especially with Miles Johnson in at the running back position. And that's what They will do. Miles Johnson still going. He'll get down to about the 7-yard line.
Breaks about 4 tackles. Looks like Desmond Lloyd and Colton.
He's able to slip so many tackles there, and that'll make it 1st and goal from the Bellevue 7.
1st and goal inside the 10. Score tied. 9 to go in the second quarter.
Trips right for the Wolves. Hand off, Johnson cuts back, and he's swung down by number 30 of the Wolverines. He'll gain about 3 or 4 there. 2nd and goal. We'll mark him down at the 5.
Back-to-back runs for Johnson puts us within the 5-yard line.
Eastlake taking quite a bit of time off the clock on this drive. Double twins. Hand off, Johnson jumps outside, breaking tackles, and he will score. Touchdown, Miles Johnson.
Nicely done, Wolves.
An incredible run there by Miles Johnson, breaking every tackle and then just barely reaching that ball across to get it across that goal line. Remember, only the tip of the ball needs to cross the very front of that line in order for it to be considered a touchdown.
Now let's see how the kicking game goes.
Last time it was not very good, went wide right. Kick is up. And this time it is in. The score with 8:35 left in the half. Eastlake Wolves 13, Bellevue Wolverines 6.
One more point for Eastlake. Eastlake 13.
All right, with 8:35 left to go in the first half, Eastlake pulls to a 13-6 lead.
Wolverines with 14 and 36 back deep. Oh, never mind. 25 and 22, I believe that is. 14 and 36, just a few yards further upfield. Nolan Budish setting up to kick off. And the kick is up. A little bit of a squib kick there. And muffed a little bit by 22. Allows the Wolves to get there. Maybe a bit of a face mask, but brought down by everybody. But mainly, that is 61, Jimmy Reed.
And there was some laundry on the field there.
So instead of the 15, I think Bellevue will start from about the 30. That'll likely be a face mask on 56, Brady Painter.
And for those of you not familiar with the game of football, grabbing the player by the face mask is not encouraged.
It really is not. Especially if you end up pulling on said face mask. It's one of those rules that's not so much about fairness, but more about safety of the players.
That mask gets you a lot of leverage on the player's neck.
And with leverage on the neck comes injuries to the neck. And that face mask penalty will bring the ball up to what looks like the 32-33 yard line, where the Wolverines, led by number 19, will kick off their drive. They've marched down the field quite a bit. Let's see if the Eastlake defense can put a stop to it.
Big surprise, they give the ball to number 23.
Brought down by Shadi Abu Jaber. I apologize if I'm butchering any names tonight. Most of these I'm fairly confident with, but some of them not so much. Off goes 41, on comes 36. Interesting back formation for the Wolverines. Handoff, 23 up the middle. Breaks a couple tackles and finally brought down by Brady Painter.
Gain of about 5 on the play.
That'll make it 3rd and about 4, 3 or 4. See if Eastlake can force a 3 and out here. They've yet to do so today. Once again, that offset formation with the running backs. And they'll hand it off to 22 this time. He has a lead blocker in front of him. Slips a tackle, and he'll be brought down at about the 47-yard line of Eastlake. Finally brought down by Riley Hill. That'll make it 1st and 10 for the Wolverines. Very offensive game so far. We've had 1 stop and then 3 straight scores. Bellevue starting to march down the field for a 4th. And a handoff to 23 will gain maybe 6 yards. I'm willing to bet 23 has at least 80% of Bellevue's yards tonight. Probably more. Just with how much they're relying on him to break through the Eastlake line. Bellevue quickly to the line. We've got that interesting wing. 36 gets the handoff, and Miles Johnson meets him in the backfield. That'll be a loss of about 4, 3rd and 9. All spotted on the 46, and it'll be 3rd down and 9 for the Wolverines. Eastlake looking to get their 2nd stop and maybe get their offense to make this a 2-score game rather than just a 1-score game.
Wolverines up to the line.
22 and 23 in the backfield. Handoff, 23 up the middle. He'll be stuffed after a gain of, it looks like 6. That'll make it 4th and 3 at the Eastlake 40. It's really
if they were willing to go for it on 4th and 14 earlier, I think they'll probably go for it again.
Yeah, and this is more of 4-down territory compared to where they were earlier.
But Bellevue takes a timeout, and we'll watch to see what their call is for this 4th and 3 late in the 2nd quarter.
And we'll also watch to see what Eastlake draws up for potentially stuffing this 4th down play. For the 24 people currently watching the stream, feel free to put down any comments or ask any questions in the chat. I'll try and answer them live.
And And if any of you want an incorrect answer, go ahead and direct your question to me and I'll try to answer it. Wolverines back to the line after the timeout. Looks like they're planning to go for it.
Does look like that. They went for it on fourth and forever. And they're still going under center. Quarterback sneak wouldn't really make a whole lot of sense. 19 confirming the play with his running backs. Handoff to 23. Flag comes out. This could be a free play, or it could be a bit of an illegal formation. I'm not sure. And
early
it looks
signal is going to be against Bellevue.
We'll see what Bellevue's head coach ends up making the play after this. And that will be a false start or an illegal formation on the Wolverines.
Pretty sure that's not what they called the timeout to call for.
No, I don't think so. Seems a little bit like a waste of a timeout.
Get it on the 45, just outside of it. Fourth and 8 for the Wolverines.
And as Bellevue gets ready for this 4th and 8 play. And that'll be a handoff to 22. He'll have blockers up the middle. He'll get the first down and a little bit more. A whole lot more. He'll finally be wrestled down by Cameron Hanhart at the Eastlake 27-yard line.
About 16-yard gain on the play.
Inside the 30. 4 minutes left in the third quarter.
.444 left in the half. Handoff. He'll be stuffed after a gain of about 2.
Forward progress looks like it's going to give them more than about 3.
That'll make it 2nd and about 7.5 for the Bellevue Wolverines here. Once again, that strange formation, 1 H-back and handoff to 23. He'll gain quite a few yards. Looks like it'll make it 3rd and 1.
Brings down Sawyer Young once again.
That's right, 3rd and 1 for the Wolverines. Let's see if Eastlake can maybe make a stop here inside their own red zone. They haven't been able to stop them on previous drives. Hand off to 22. 22 with a lot of space. 22 will score. A lot of blockers, but a flag on the play. It looks like this one's coming back for a hold. 22 had a couple blockers ahead of him, but looks like that one blocker just didn't really block properly.
They just got a little bit excited on the play, that's all.
I think that'll move it from a 3rd and 1 to a 3rd and 8. Since in high school, holding is a spot foul, 10 yards from the spot.
Holding a third somewhere near the 18-yard line, back around the 28.
19. Handoff to 23. He'll gain a couple. Looks like about 5 or 6. Which will make it
about the 21-yard line.
which will make it 4th down, and it looks like 3 or 4. And seeing as they went for it on 4th and forever earlier, it wouldn't be a surprise to me if Bellevue went ahead and went for it right here, and that's exactly what they will do.
I'm suspicious it may be a run.
Probably. It'll be a handoff to 22. Last time they handed it off to him, it was a hold. He'll fumble out of bounds, and a flag is thrown. See what this is. It might be a late hit out of bounds. For any of you who just joined us here, feel free to ask any questions or make any comments in the chat.
And folks, if we go offline here for a little bit, it's because we've run out of battery power. Power supply is on the way, but we may drop for a moment or two.
And that will be unnecessary roughness on the Wolves. It'll put them half the distance to the goal. 1st and goal from the Eastlake 5 for the Bellevue Wolverines here. And that'll be a handoff to 23, straight up the middle, and 23 will score. Touchdown, Bellevue. Now, as we learned from the first 2 PATs, these are not gimmies. The first one missed, the second was blocked. So we might be able to see a little bit of a lead being retained by Eastlake with 2:30 left in the half. And it looks like Bellevue might be going for 2 here. Seeing as they've had a lot of success running it with 23, Eastlake really needs to stuff this line. And they will hand it off to 23, who will be stuffed. 23 will not make it there. Taken down by Miles Johnson, as well as basically every other Wolf on the field. No good. So the score with 2.5 minutes left in the half, Eastlake 13, Bellevue 12. And with the little comment that Jim made just a little bit ago about the power supply, it has arrived, so he will not be moving the camera for a little bit while he retrieves it. Do you know how long the halftime is? 17 looking to kick off for the Wolverines. And the kick is up. Johnson to field it at about the 15. He's been explosive. Oh, he slips down at about the 25. And will be officially marked at the 28. No bueno. He was looking to have a fairly decent return there if he was able to beat that edge player. So far, nothing doing on that return. 2:25 left in the half. Eastlake probably trying to score once here and then maybe score coming out of the half to make it a 2-score game. Barry Smith and Johnson still in the backfield. Double twins style formation. Handoff, a little bit of stuff on the exchange. Johnson breaking a couple tackles, just barely getting past the line of scrimmage for a 1-yard gain. There will be a flag on the field, though.
We'll see what our referees have in store for us here on this one. It was a pretty early flag.
And it looks like this one will be called back for a hold.
Judging from the location of the flag, that's going to be about a 10 or 11-yard penalty.
And that's exactly what it'll be. Eastlake backed up to their own 16-yard line. So quite a distant penalty. Because remember, holding is a spot foul. Eastlake may want to pass here. They've attempted one pass. It's been a very run-heavy game so far. Barry Smith, keeper, has lead blockers ahead of him, sets the edge, and a flag comes down once again. He'll get to near the 30-yard line, but I think this one's coming back again. .203 left in the half, and this one might push Eastlake back to the 10-yard line this time. Technically a 10-yard penalty, but in reality more of a 20-yarder. Just because of where Barry Smith was able to get to. Oh, never mind. It's a hands to the face call. I believe a hands to the face call against Bellevue.
That or a block in the back.
Which wouldn't make sense on the defense.
Not really, but it looks like it'll be enough for a first down.
That's right, it will. So that'll be first down and 10 Eastlake on their own 39-yard line. Wolves hoping to score on this final possession of the half.
Let's see if we can break this trend of alternating penalties here.
Yeah, hopefully. Receivers the same as before. We've got 9, Jacob Nakakiti. We've got 22, Arav Doshi. 11, Jacob Kim in motion, but a flag thrown for false start. I guess we will not be breaking that trend of alternating penalties.
No, that was against Bellevue.
Oh. Interesting. Oh, no flag. Never mind. Flag will be waved off. And Barry Smith will keep it. And he'll be caught in the backfield by 14. Once again, a flag down. So we've gone a total of 15 seconds in about 3 minutes.
Apparently, this referee on the near side did not get in his allocation of flag throws for this half, so he's got to get them all in now.
With only 2 minutes left. Let's see what this call is. Might be holding, might be illegal formation. Could be offsides on the offense because they've been playing offensive calls on the defense. Looks like a hold. And it will be a hold. That'll make it first down and 20 for Eastlake. Double twin style formation. Johnson up the middle, finds some space. Dodging tackles. That'll be a gain of, it looks like 4 to make it 2nd and 16.
Just inside the 35.
Had he been able to get past that last tackler, he probably could have gone to the house.
16. 1:30 left in the half. Clock running.
Barry Smith might want to throw a couple passes here. He's attempted a total of 1, and that was broken up. There's been a single completed pass all game. Hand off to Johnson up the middle. Breaking tackles over and over again. That'll gain about 10, making it 3rd and 6 at the Eastlake 43. Some very good running by both running backs tonight. 23 of Bellevue and Miles Johnson of Eastlake. And the only reason one team's winning is because of special teams.
40 seconds remaining here in the first half.
Kim in motion. He'll hand off, receive the sweep. Kim still on his feet, and he'll be driven back after a gain of about 2 or 3, making it 4th down. 22 seconds to go, and it looks like Dane Sampson will call a timeout here with 18 seconds remaining in this first half.
See what he's got planned for these last couple of downs with just a few seconds remaining. While we take a timeout, let's take a quick look at that last run that Miles had.
Let's take a look at it. Here's the pre-snap. And just look at that giant hole there. Able to slip so many tackles. Unfortunately, replay didn't let us see the end of that run, but it was mainly set up by that huge hole and really good block by Wilson Fang, number 55. 4th and 3 coming up for Eastlake. 18 seconds left in the half. And during halftime, we will sign off from the commentary booth for those 15 minutes to go grab some water, maybe get some snacks. And we will join back as the second half begins.
We'll invite all of you at home to join us in taking a little bit of a break, grabbing a drink, maybe some snacks, and then meet us back here for the second half. Wolves back up to the line.
4th and 3 for Eastlake. Bellevue is, I believe, 3 for 4 on 4th downs. Eastlake 0 for 0. A little fumble, flea flicker. Barry Smith loading up, firing, and it is caught. 22, that is Ariv Doshi going to the house. Touchdown, Eastlake. 5.5 seconds to go in the first half. That's a 45-yard pitch and catch. Ryder Barry Smith to Ariv Doshi.
And after several penalties, Coach Sampson able to dial up a touchdown with 5.5 seconds left in the half.
Nolan Budish setting up to kick the extra point. Kick is up, and the kick is good. The score with 5 seconds left in the half. The Eastlake Wolves 20, Bellevue Wolverines 12. Not quite a 2-score game, but almost there.
5.5 seconds left. That'll give Bellevue time for maybe one play, depending on how quickly they down the ball after they receive the kickoff.
And who knows, maybe Eastlake will try the same sort of onside attempt that Varsity did against Mount Tahoma on Friday. Sort of run down the clock. Now, depending on whether we have volunteers for the game upcoming this Wednesday, the Eastlake freshman team will be playing against, I believe, Mount Tahoma. I'm not 1,000% certain.
That's what's on the schedule, but there's been some changes in the C team and JV team schedule kind of at last minute.
Budish set to kick off. And it will be the same onside type strategy to let the clock wind down. It looks like 11 running off, and that will be the end of the first half. The score, Eastlake 20, Bellevue 12. We will join you back again from the commentary booth in 15 minutes For
or
the
10,
second.
depending on how long the half is. Not quite sure of the length of the half. So keep your eyes on the screen. It may be 10, it may be 15.
10 goes up. There we go, thank you. 10 goes up on the scoreboard. We'll be back. Look up, you're going to see the osprey that lives here at Eastlake Field carrying a fish. It's got its nest up over there on one of the light poles. 2 minutes. 2 minutes to the third quarter. About 60 seconds to game time here, third quarter at Eastlake Field. Eastlake Wolves 20, Bellevue Wolverines 12.
We are back from halftime for the start of this third quarter.
Eastlake kicked off first. Bellevue will kick off this time. kick. Miles Johnson and Jacob Bekikidi in the back to receive. It is an onside kick that goes about 7 yards before it is picked up by Brody Trees.
Not the right way to execute an onside.
Get their first down. Call for 47.
Bellevue 47-yard line.
First down.
Oh, stuff.
First down gives Miles in the backfield the ball. He is
Miles Johnson still on his feet.
and he gets
He'll be down at about the 25-yard line.
Miles Johnson is not
Sorry about the no audio for a little bit. We had a little bit of tech issues once again.
Red zone. They yelled finally on the finishing tackle. Ball spots.
However, now we have 1st and 10 on the Bellevue 26-yard line. Trips to the left for Eastlake. Handoff, Miles Johnson cuts back past 10 yards. Maybe. No, he'll get marked down at about a gain of 9.
Carson Reed on the tackle, who is also 71.
Looks like that'll be 2nd and 1 from the Bellevue 18. Eastlake looking to make this a 2-score game after scoring before the half. Now in a sort of double twins type set. Johnson off to the right side. Barry Smith pitch to Johnson. He has a lot of blockers in front of him. Slips some tackles, still on his feet. Wide open space in front of him. Miles Johnson will score. Touchdown, Eastlake Wolves. That took an entire minute and a half for Eastlake to march about 45 yards. The score 26-12. Miles Johnson now with a trio of touchdowns.
We'll give Budish an opportunity to kick another PAT here, and then as we get back for the kickoff, we'll take another look at that touchdown run. Probably not the whole run. It took quite a while to develop there, but we'll take a look at some highlights.
Budish looking to make the score 27-12, but a little stoppage in play for some reason. Oh, there's a hurt Wolverine on the sideline. On comes Ashley Holman, the athletic trainer, to look at the injured Wolverine. So why don't we look at that replay right now?
Well, let's take a look. See how much of we caught for you.
Here we have Miles Johnson just cutting right back. Every defender moves over to the right, and just 25 almost able to catch him, but Miles Johnson still able to slip that tackle for a score. Still waiting on the injured Wolverine. That is 25. The one who almost tackled Johnson at about the 1. And he will be walking towards his own sideline under his own power. A little sluggish, though.
Good to see him able to get up and walk.
Budish to kick, Barry Smith to hold. Looking to make the score 27-12. And the kick is up. And no good from Nolan Budish. That's the second missed PAT. However, that one had a man running straight at him. Can't really blame him for that. He had so much pressure. So the score with 8:35 left in the third quarter. Eastlake 26, Bellevue 12. We've had a pair of missed extra points for both teams. 2 PATs for Eastlake, 1 PAT, 1 2-point conversion missed. Fairly interesting game special teams wise.
We expect to see a little bit of struggling on the kicking game at the freshman level, but it's unusual to see this much of a struggle in the kicking game at the JV level.
Especially with how well Nolan Budish did just last year on the freshman team. Eastlake sets a kickoff here. 16 and 22 back deep. Or maybe that's 26. And the ball going deep. Fielded at about the 15. And that'll be stuffed by 61 Jimmy Reed and 19 William Abraham. Ball will be spotted at about the Bellevue 27. And a late substitution for the Wolverines.
Starting round 26, first down.
Once again, I invite anyone who has any sort of question or comment to post in the chat. We've had one message so far thanking us, and to that I say no problem. It is really fun for us to do this, as there's a gain of about 5.
We'd also encourage you, if you aren't already, please consider subscribing to the Wolves football channel on YouTube. We're getting close to 1,000 subscribers, and that opens up some additional opportunities for us with YouTube. So if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button and encouraging your friends to do the same.
You also have to be subscribed for at least 5 minutes to comment on these JV games. Handoff to 22, hits the edge and is spun down by Ethan Rogers after a gain of a couple. Looks like he'll gain 3 yards to make it third and about 2, 3, 4 yards. In order to comment on these JV games, you have to be subscribed for at least 5 minutes. Soon it'll be the same for freshmen, and then for varsity, you have to be subscribed for at least a day. Handoff to, I believe, 23 up the middle to get the first down. 23 has really been Bellevue's workhorse today. I think there's been 1 completed pass from Bellevue all game. And I believe the same from Eastlake. A very run-heavy game today.
Little different outcome of the two passes, though. Eastlake pulled a touchdown off of their completed pass.
And Bellevue had a first down. Fumble picked up by 52. And that will be a scoop and score for Eastlake. That's 52. Caden Eaton for the score. A little trouble on the exchange there, and Caden Eaton able to very easily pick that up and run for a touchdown.
So anybody who's playing Eastlake defense in their fantasy gets 6 points tonight.
There was a lot of penetration off that line, but
Caden runs it in.
still a very bad exchange for the Wolverines, and Caden Eaton able to capitalize.
Those of you who had selected number 52 on your fantasy team are looking pretty good tonight.
I guess so. Caden Eaton with the score. Budish looking to make it 33-12. Just 3 minutes have gone by. The kick is up.
It's up, it's high.
And it is good, I believe. Waiting for the signal from the ref. And it is good. The score after just 3 minutes into the second half. Eastlake 33, Bellevue 12.
7:10 left in the third.
This has got to be very satisfying for Coach. He's played a lot of youth football against Bellevue, against some very strong Bellevue teams, so he's got to be enjoying this game tonight.
You would have to think so. Now keep in mind, if at any point Eastlake reaches 40 points above Bellevue's score, so at this point if they were to score to 42 points, then the running clock rule would take effect, where the only time the clock will stop is for injuries and timeouts. It will not stop for change of possession. It will not stop for first downs. It will not stop for going out of bounds. However, we're still 10 points away from that.
Guess who's kicking?
Budish set to kick off. A little bit of a squib kick there. Bouncing and fielded by 32. He'll go out at about the 32.
William Abraham once again. And there's his hand glove.
Will Abraham with the tackle. And Eastlake will field their defense once more.
And the Wolverines take over just about the same place they had the ball last time. I'm sure
Hopefully with a different outcome for them.
I'm sure they're hoping for a different outcome.
Cody Novak, thank you for the praise in the chat. Cody Novak is our strength and conditioning coach here at Eastlake, works with us both during the season and during the off season, helping us get into prime shape for the season and stay there. And off to 23, straight up the middle, able to miss everyone. 23 on his way, the 20, the 10, touchdown. No, he lost the ball, touchdown, Bellevue Wolverines. He lost the ball as he broke the plane, but he was able to pick it up in the end zone, so that will be a touchdown.
Bellevue picks up 6.
A little bit of a blown hole there. And then no one was able to catch him. It's been 3 minutes, 3 scores, 2 for Eastlake, 1 for Bellevue. The score now 18-33.
So a little breathing room for the Wolverines before that running clock rule goes into play.
A little bit, yeah. It is not a given that running clock will take effect.
No, I'm sure it'd be quite enjoyable for Coach Sampson, but it's a long ways between here and there.
And going for two, 23 up the middle, and he will make it. The score now 33-20, meaning that 2 touchdowns and 2 made PATs will lead the game for the Wolverines, so long as they're able to stop the Wolves both times. However, that has proven to be a fairly daunting task, as Eastlake has scored every time they've touched the ball, including sometimes when it hasn't even been their possession to start the play.
And the teams line up for the kickoff. Wolves receiving again for the second time in this second half.
Eastlake looks to have their hands team out, preparing for a potential onside kick. Miles Johnson, the lone player, back deep. 17 set to kick off. And this one will go deep, fielded by Johnson at about the 13. He'll have some blockers. Never mind, that is not Miles Johnson. That's Jacob Nakakiti. He has a lot of blockers. Jacob Nakakiti, cross midfield, cross the 40. Jacob Nakakiti forced out of bounds at about the 40, 39-yard line of Bellevue. Not a good start for Bellevue if they want to potentially take the lead at some point in this game.
Very nice run back by Nakakiti there. Let's see if we've got time to take a look at that.
I believe we do. Just watch how he's able to get away from these blockers, from these tacklers, and then some nice blocking by Miles Johnson to clear some space, get him up past the 40, tripped up by, I think, someone falling. Now Barry Smith in the backfield, accompanied by Johnson. Barry Smith will keep. He'll avoid a couple tackles. He'll gain about 6 yards there to make it 2nd and 4. Definitely a lot less timid than his older brother in terms of running the ball.
Down for the Wolverines.
That's the second player tonight.
Looked like an ankle rolled on that tackle.
Last time it was 25. This time it looks like 60.
Shall we take a look at that run back again?
Why not? Once again, some incredible avoiding of the tackle, and then Miles Johnson getting a block on 22. Let's see what happens here. Did someone trip on the sideline?
It's hard to see. There was not a player in tackling range there, but somebody may have stepped on the back of his heel. Not sure what happened there.
It looked like a player was just laying down on the sideline, and then
that, folks, is
Nakakiti
why they ask
fell.
the players to stay back in the gray area on the side of the field.
60 able to jog off the field under his own power. Looks like he may have just gotten the wind knocked out of him and a little bit of a stinger to the ankle. By rule, he does have to stay off for at least one play. Maybe more, but he can come back after one play is, well, played. Trips to the field side for the Wolves here. Miles Johnson also lined up to the same side. And that'll be a toss to Johnson, trying to slip a tackle, but he will not escape 14. That'll be no gain on the play, bringing up 3rd and about 5 or 6.
That's quick ball handling by Barry Smith there, who took that snap a little bit low, but was still able to pitch it out. But unfortunately, the hole closed up for Johnson. Nowhere to run.
Yeah, a little bit of snapping difficulties for the Wolves here tonight. They've had a couple low ones. Once again, trips to the field side, this time to the right. Another low snap. Barry Smith looking to throw, escapes the pocket. Still on his feet, throws the ball, and incomplete. Looking for Jacob Kim. And that'll make it 4th down. However, this is pretty much 4-down territory where it isn't really close enough to kick a field goal, but it's too close to punt.
And with 5:31 left in the third quarter, why not go for it? Only 4 yards to go.
Why not? The last time they went for it on 4th down, they scored a 45-yard touchdown to Ariv Doshi. This time, once again, a 4th and 4, actually. Double twins. Miles lined up to the boundary side. Johnson pushing, and he will not get 1st down yardage. So that will be a turnover on downs. Bellevue will get the ball on their own 31-yard line.
And that is the main downside to going for it at this point, is it gives the other side a little bit of energy that they didn't have before.
Now that is the first time Bellevue has managed to stop Eastlake on any of their series. Whereas Eastlake has stopped Bellevue now 2 times, if you include the scoop and score from Caden Eaton earlier. Hand off to 23 up the middle. And he'll be stopped after a gain of about 3. Making it 2nd and 7.
It does look like the Wolves have made some adjustments to key on number 23 to ensure he's not running wild anymore.
Yeah, they really want to make sure that doesn't happen, especially after that last big run that he had. As we're now over halfway through the 3rd quarter. Got a lot of stoppages here. Now, we still have yet to see anything from Bellevue's 80. They haven't really run any passes. 23 breaking free again, getting across midfield. And did he lose the ball at the end? I think he was down. Brought down by Adam Barrick. Clearly, they haven't really fully figured out how to guard 23 quite yet.
No, he's still getting some good holes and some good runs.
1st and 10 on the Eastlake 46. Into what's often referred to as plus territory. Bellevue lined up in their base formation. Handoff up the middle to 23, who will gain about 6 or 7 before getting thrown down. They'll officially call it 8 yards, 2nd and 2. Once again, not a lot of passing for the Bellevue Wolverines, but it's been working.
2nd and 1 for Bellevue.
19, handoff to 23. He's got a bit of space, punishing number 48, Mason King there. But he's still able to bring him down. Not before the 1st down, though. Ball at the 26-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Wolverines as they continue marching down this field to try and make it a 1-score game.
Well, it sounds like I'm going to have to take back what I said earlier about the Wolves having figured out what to do with number 23.
Yeah, I think you do. And now handing off to 22 around the outside. He'll be met after a gain of about 2 or 3. Not nearly as much as they've gotten on previous plays. I remember 22 had that touchdown that was called back earlier due to a holding penalty. They'll officially mark it as a gain of 3, 2nd and 7.
That wide receiver for Bellevue is getting a lot of exercise running out to his position.
Not a lot of targets. Handoff 23 again. Getting past a couple tackles, and he'll go down, looks like 3rd and 1 here. However, Bellevue has repeatedly proven that any territory is 4-down territory, so Eastlake would have to stop him 2 more times if they want that ball back. Approaching 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. And, oh, flags on the field. Looks like it might be a false start of some kind.
That could make it a little bit easier for the Wolves to stop them here.
I believe the refs, even as the 4th quarter rapidly approaches, have more passing yards than the Bellevue offense. And that will be a false start on Bellevue. Back them up 5 for a 3rd and 6. The refs all game have had more passing yards than the Wolverines. They only have a couple, just down inside the Eastlake 10 one time. Everything else has been a run. Handoff up the middle, and that will be stuffed.
Gain of about 3 to the 20-yard line.
23 once again, and this will be 4th down and 4. Bellevue still going for it.
If I were a betting man, I'd say this is going to be a give to number 23 up the middle.
Probably. It's been their go-to play so far tonight. We'll see how 4th and 4 works out for the Wolverines here. And it will be a handoff, met immediately by Finn Waldron, who is not on, 64, Finn Waldron. That'll let Eastlake take over on downs on their own 20-yard line. 1:15 to go in the 3rd quarter, up 13.
So not quite as favorable ball position as the Wolves gave the ball to the Wolverines, but we'll take it.
Definitely will. Let's see what Coach Sampson has drawn up for really their first time starting down towards that side. Handoff. Johnson still on his feet, slipping tackles, hits an edge, slips another tackle. Out of bounds at about the 28-yard line. What was initially a broken play down behind the line of scrimmage, Miles Johnson turned into a 7-yard gain. That'll make it 2nd and 3.
Not too bad. Just over a minute left to play in this 3rd quarter. This 3rd quarter has taken almost as long as the entire first half did.
Yeah. A lot of stoppages. Pitch to Johnson. He has some blockers ahead of him, but he will be spun down by 51. But that did not look very clean. He was pulled down by the back of his helmet. That's going to be an extra 15 yards.
So you take the first downs however they come.
I guess so. That'll be considered unnecessary roughness or maybe a horse collar.
Face mask.
Technically a face mask because he was grasping the helmet, but not really. He was grabbing the backside of Miles Johnson's helmet, but that'll be an extra 15 yards for the Wolves and an automatic first down. So now at about the 42-yard line. Bellevue trying to find a way to maybe stop Eastlake. They did last drive for the first time, but
Turns out the face mask isn't an effective way to stop them.
no, it really isn't. Trips to the left. Handoff, Johnson up the middle, has a few blockers, slips a few tackles. He'll gain about 6. Up to the 48. And it looks like another flag on the play.
They're using up their quota early in this half.
And another face mask on Bellevue.
There may be some frustration building up on the other side of the field there.
Having all these penalties isn't going to help.
No, it does not.
However, it looks like it's just a 5-yard face mask, not the personal foul. In the NFL, it's always a personal foul, but in college and in high school, they can interpret it however they want. 5 yards for just grabbing on and then letting go, but 15 for using it to make the tackle.
But that 5 yards was enough for a first down.
And to move Eastlake into plus territory. Double twins for the Wolves. Johnson sweep, cuts up field. Still going, Pyle getting pushed forward still for a gain of about 4 or 5.
This will likely end the third quarter.
And that it will as we move on to the fourth quarter of play. The time 8:03 here in Sammamish.
That's the end of the third.
Eastlake 33, Bellevue 20.
And the Wolves on the move as we begin the fourth quarter.
10 minutes left to go. See what they need.
Take off the foo-foo, take off the crouching, take off the Wi-Fi, take off the uniform, take off the cardio, take off the flex and the white loss, take off the winter that jewelry. I'ma take 2 steps, then I'm taking off top off. Take off the fabricated dreams and the microwave means to the real world outside. The idols, take off the runway, take off the Cairo. The same go pay 5 days straight, take off for the meal and the finals. Take off the false flag, take off perception, take off the cop with the iPad. Off the allure, take off the unsure, take off the solutions, iPad. Take off the
All right, fourth quarter about to begin. Eastlake now on the Bellevue 40-yard line. 2nd and 5. Never mind, not on the 40-yard line, on the 43. The officials setting the chains. Let's see how head coach Dane Sampson can close this game out.
10 minutes left to play. And we appreciate all of you for joining us.
Double twins for the Wolves. Miles lined up to the field side. Doshi in motion. Barry Smith keeps, and he'll be taken down at about the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and 5. Miles Johnson probably the favorite to get this ball. There really hasn't been that much of a passing game today.
Not on either side of the field.
Eastlake a little bit more than Bellevue with multiple completed passes, but really it's all been on the run game today.
And when the run's working, well, keep running.
That is correct. Another double twin setup for Eastlake. Miles Johnson set up to the left side. And it will be A pitch back to Jacob Kim, who has a lot of space in front of him. He'll get the first down past the 35 and not a whole lot more. Officially marked down at the 33-yard line. That'll make it 1st and 10 for the Wolves with 9 minutes to go. And that's an injured Wolf on the field. I can't quite see the number. It looks like maybe a 61 Jimmy Reed. And it is Jimmy Reed. Unless it isn't. Oh, it's a... No, never mind. That's just a teammate helping his helmet off.
And unlike in professional and college football, we're not going to give you a close-up view of the injured player. Out of respect for their family and the players, we try to just take a nice wide shot just in case there's a severe injury. It doesn't look like this one is, but there's no sense putting that kind of a view in front of you tonight.
Nine minutes exactly to go in the game. And as Reed will walk off under his own power, it looks like he might be favoring one of his arms. On comes Shadi Abu Jaber, or however you say that name. I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. If his parents are watching, please confirm that I'm saying it right, or let me know that I'm saying it wrong. However, 1st and 10 for the Wolves coming up. Double twin set. Miles Johnson offset to, looks like he's just directly behind. Johnson straight up the middle. Bounces outside. Has a little bit of room. And he'll be brought down after a gain of, it looks like, 2. Probably the shortest run you'll ever see from Miles Johnson tonight. It'll make it 2nd and 8. And I believe Eastlake's going to try and do some clock management. Maybe run it down as much as possible. Take as much time between snaps. Take as much time during the play as they possibly can. To try and make sure Bellevue has no chance of scoring again. 2nd and 8 here. Double twins. Hand off to Johnson again. He has a couple blockers. He breaks free. He'll make it down to about the 25-yard line. Still just about half a yard short of the first down. A little bit of a substitution for the Wolverines as Eastlake huddles up preparing for this 3rd and inches.
This one really is a matter of inches. There's not more than a foot to go here.
Double twins once again. Miles Johnson lined up to the field side. And it will be a handoff to Johnson. He will get the first down. He'll bounce outside. He'll get past the 20, down towards about the 12, 13-yard line, and the clock will continue to run. And the clock will continue to run. And the clock will continue to run. Under 7 minutes to play.
Smart move by Johnson, keeping it in bounds there. Keep the clock going.
Yeah, you could see the Wolverines trying to force him outside, but Johnson would rather...
A lot of the Wolverines fell down out of bounds, but that's not where the ball ended.
Nope. Double twins, Miles to the right. Toshi in motion. Barry Smith will keep it. He'll go to the outside. There's a flag thrown. It'll probably be for holding.
And that will stop the clock.
But only momentarily while the call is being made.
Number 14 brought him down.
Let's see what this ends up being. Likely a hold.
And they are marching off from the spot of the flag.
And that will be a 10-yard penalty, so very likely a hold. And it is.
That takes 10 off.
Eastlake now staring down a first and about 20. However, a good, decent chance to run this clock down as much as possible. Barry Smith with the carry. Fakes the flick. Still on his feet. Ryder Barry Smith will score. Touchdown, Eastlake. Barry Smith with a fake flick to Doshi. Gave him just enough space to make his way down to the end zone. A very smart move by Ryder Barry Smith.
Well, so much for running down the clock.
I guess so.
Trade points for a little time off the clock here.
39, Eastlake. Bellevue 20 so far. Just under 6 to go. Budish comes out to kick.
Nolan Budish up for the PAT here.
He's missed 2, made 2. A fumbled snap, and that'll once again be a no good PAT.
Definitely can't put that one on the shoulders of the kicker, though. He had no opportunity to take a kick at that one.
Yep, that is a fumbled snap by Ryder Barry Smith. So the score with 5:49 left in the game, Eastlake 39, Bellevue 20.
I don't think I could fault Barry Smith for that one. That ball kind of rolled to him.
Yeah, it really did.
Yet again, a little trouble on the snap tonight.
Yeah, I have been talking a bit to the O-line coach, Jim Ort, who was saying that it was a bit of trouble trying to get the center Henry Volpone to get a reliable snap, and it looks like it's still a little bit of trouble.
But he's doing pretty well tonight. A few mishaps, but very, very much improved.
This is really the only one that's cost points for the team. And we don't even know if Volpone's actually the long snapper.
We don't. We don't.
Eastlake setting to kick off up 19. And a little bit of an onside kick here. Eastlake going for it, and that is recovered by 35 at the 35. That's where Bellevue will take over with 5:47 on the clock.
Picked up that ball.
As Bellevue continues to try to start a comeback. But so far, little to no avail. They were stopped on their last drive and maybe stopped on their next as well. Another handoff to 23, who will be met after a gain of about 3 there. That's 62, Shadi Abu Jaber. Second and 7 for the Wolverines coming up. Eastlake looking to keep this clock running to end this game fairly smoothly. Once again, a handoff to 23, who breaks free. Finally brought down by Riley Hill. He broke straight through that line. If it weren't for Riley Hill right there, that would have been a touchdown. Just over 5 minutes to go in the game. Bellevue with the potential for a comeback, but it's highly unlikely.
Fortunately, Hill stayed home and was there to receive number 23 as he came through.
Wolverines here for their 1st and 10 on the Eastlake 44. Handoff in the backfield, but that is met immediately by 34, Donnie Murray. That did not work at all. There'll be a loss of about 4 or 5, make it 3rd down. Yes, 3rd down? 2nd down. There's the down marker change. 2nd down and about 14. Bellevue hustles to the line. And handoff to 22 here, who will be met at about the sticks just behind them. So that'll make it 3rd down and 11 for the Wolverines. They might want to try a pass at some point. Just seeing as they've attempted 2, they've completed 1. And now they're in a 3rd and long situation where 99% of all teams will go for a pass. Bellevue,
Bellevue's going to run it.
Bellevue doesn't really like passing tonight. They've thrown it twice, and they will hand it off to 23, who will break 3. No, it's 22 who breaks free, and he'll finally get muscled down by 52, Caden Eaton, and 7, Ethan Rogers. I guess that run play on 3rd and 11 paid off. Bellevue now inside the 10, 1st and goal, with under 3.5 minutes to go in the game. Bellevue's hopes still very much alive, as someone jogs off the field. And that is a swallowed up run. No gain on the play, make it 2nd and goal.
Colin Young met him around the 7-yard line. They might have picked up a little bit of that.
Off comes Adam Barrick. Bellevue lined up, 2nd and goal. Blitz coming for Eastlake. Handoff 22 will break through the line. Touchdown, Bellevue. That's 22's first. The other 3 were all 23. I believe Bellevue will try and go for 2 here. Try and bring the score to 28-39. Make it an 11-point game, so that a touchdown, 2-point conversion, and a field goal will tie the game up. However hard that may be with 2.5 minutes left in the game.
And the kicking game, as we've seen it so far, field goal looks highly unlikely.
Very much so.
Not out of the question.
And they will be going for 2 here. Hand off to 23 up the gut, and he will score. So the 2-point conversion is good. The score with 2:34 left in this game. Eastlake Wolves 39, Bellevue Wolverines 28. Bellevue set to kick off. And they might start using their timeouts soon. And once again, the hands team ready for Eastlake. Jacob Naukakiti back deep.
Charles Miller kick.
17 to kick off.
Let's see if they can get this offside attempt to go 10 yards this time.
And here they go. No, they'll boot it deep towards Naukakiti, who will field it at about the 25. He'll get the edge around to the Eastlake 45-yard line, where he'll be forced out of bounds as the clock ticks under 2:30 to go. Where Eastlake's run game will once again take over and hopefully end the game for the Wolves here.
Inside their own territory on the 40. Looks to be the 47.
Ball spotted just 3 yards shy of midfield for these, probably the Wolves' final possession of the game.
Eastlake needs a first down and maybe a little bit more depending on how well they run.
And how aggressively the coaches use timeouts here.
And who knows, BYU, or not BYU, Bellevue, sorry about that. Bellevue might decide not to use timeouts. And here goes, that is not Miles Johnson, that's Jack Raymond, number 1. He'll get a yard and no timeout called. The clock will continue to run. Looks like Miles Johnson has been retired for the game. Standing on the sideline. As Eastlake prepares for a 2nd and 10. Probably going to be another handoff to Jack Raymond, or maybe a keeper by Barry Smith. And this will be a pitch to Raymond, trying to reach the edge. He'll get stopped after a loss of about 3. Nearly every Wolverine on the field, save 3, were there. That'll make 3rd down and long for the Wolves. They need to get a first down to potentially end this game, but maybe not. If they can let this play clock run down below, they can let this game clock run down below 40 seconds. They could just run one last play and end the game here. However, it doesn't look like that's what they're planning to do. Seeing as the play clock won't even let them go there. Handoff. No, Barry Smith will keep it. He'll get the edge. He'll keep going. Barry Smith, a couple guys to beat. He'll get forced down at about the 20-yard line. Call it about the 19. The clock will stop as they set the chains. 40 seconds to go. And unless Eastlake wants to score one final time, I think Barry Smith's just going to take a knee and end the game here. But there is holding on the Wolves. Will push them back 10 yards. However, with just the 40 seconds left, still 3rd down, so they might as well just knee it here and finish the game off strong.
That'll make it third and about 21 yards.
I think they'll call it 22.
Clock will start on the snap, the referee said.
After the flag, ball is brought back to the 35-yard line, Eastlake territory.
Well, instead of Barry Smith being inside the Bellevue 20, the Wolves are on their own 35. So handoff to Raymond, who will be met in the backfield, and that will do it for the game, probably. Oh, never mind. Bellevue will call their first timeout.
Timeout, Bellevue.
Bellevue finally decides to call a timeout with 29 seconds left in the game, making it 4th and a lot. 29 seconds left to play in the game. We'll see if Eastlake is planning to punt it, or maybe just, well, they'll probably punt it.
That would be my recommendation, but, you know, I don't have a line into the coach to make that recommendation, so we'll just see what he comes up with.
I mean, we saw Bellevue go for it on a similar play.
That was a little earlier in the game, but
Yeah.
at this point the game is out of reach effectively for Bellevue. So the only question is, can they score one more time before the end of the game?
Well, it's not actually entirely out of reach. They could block the punt, return it, and then Jacob Nakakiti could muff the punt, and they could return it for another touchdown and win the game, but that does seem fairly unlikely. As Eastlake huddles up again after the timeout for a 4th and 25.
All right, the Wolves up to the line for what may be the Wolves' last possession of the game.
Barry Smith looking to take the ball himself. He'll keep it, flick it, and the ball is on the turf. And it'll be recovered by Bellevue. Bellevue will make it down to about the 1-yard line. That's a very much blown play by Eastlake. Ariv Doshi just couldn't catch that pitch. They'll call him out on the 4-yard line. 16 seconds to play. This game still very much an interesting one.
The likelihood of Bellevue scoring again just went way up.
Yes, it really did, but they have to do it in 16 seconds or use their timeouts.
Bellevue's got it inside the 5.
39-28, the current score. $19 under center, and
Coach Sampson calls for a timeout.
all right, so this will be delayed just a little bit more as the clock hits 8:30 p.m. Nice 63 degrees, not as warm as the freshman game just last week, but, you know, not very cold either. As the Wolves get ready for this, what could be the final play, but probably won't be, seeing as everyone's using timeouts right now. 1st and goal from the 4.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say Bellevue's likely to give this ball to number 23, who's going to run up the gut.
And that's what they will do, but he will be stopped immediately by Finn Waldron. And Bellevue will call their second timeout. Now, just recently,
Stop the clock, stop. Stop the clock, stop.
spoiler, the clock failed to stop. It's supposed to be at 10 seconds.
Before the end of the game, we'll have the time once the ref tells me.
Clock was supposed to be stopped.
12
seconds?
12 seconds are to be put back on the clock. Now, for those of you who are planning to watch the Bills-Jets game and haven't yet, cover your ears or do something to avoid hearing this, but breaking news, the Jets have beat the Bills 22-16. A lot of upsets this week one, with the Chiefs falling to the Lions, the Bills falling to the Jets.
Aaron Rodgers stepping up one more time.
Yeah. I guess it was just the Packers, unless it was a fluke. And here comes 2nd and goal from the 4-yard line. Or no, from about the 6-yard line.
A loss of 2 yards on that last play. I'm still going to call number 23 up the middle.
Or a 22 sweep. And that will be 23 up the middle. It looks like he might have been stuffed. Yes, he will be at about the 1 or 2 yard line. And that'll be another timeout, their final timeout of the game, called by the Wolverines.
Bellevue's still looking to get that last couple of points in here, hoping for their 12-point play.
.7 seconds left to go. I know it says 4.9 here, but the scoreboard says 4.7. Not that it really matters. A very interesting final 16 seconds of this game we've had that's stretched out over 4 minutes.
First half did not take nearly as long as this second half has.
No, not at all. It's an interesting game, football.
Close the gap a bit before the end of the night.
As Bellevue was probably going to be the final play of the game if they don't score here, and whistles. And play will continue. Not sure what that was about. And hand up to 23, up the middle. Who? No signal yet. No signal yet. I believe Eastlake has stuffed him.
There is no touchdown being called by the referees, and they are
That'll be
walking off
4th
the
down.
field.
That's game. Bellevue will not score on that final possession. The final score.
Stop.
The final score: Eastlake Wolves 39, Bellevue Wolverines 28. We will see you maybe this Wednesday, but definitely this Saturday at 6 p.m. to watch our varsity team take on the Skyline Spartans at home.
And congratulations to the Wolves JV team and to Coach Sampson and his crew for an impressive win over the Bellevue Wolverines tonight. Thank you all for joining us. We will see you soon.
Standing there in the heart, listening to the call.